Africa's fastest racing driver is possibly Rui Andrade from Angola. He drives for WRT, and we're here at one of the most prestigious races of the year. It's the Spa 6 Hours. We're going to catch up with Rui now, ask him how he's feeling for the race, and then we're going to catch up with him after race, see how he did. Let's find out. Awesome, we're here with Rui. He's a driver for the LMP2 Team WRT, who was starting Spa 6 Hours in P2, which is absolutely incredible. Rui, pleasure to meet you. And I just want to understand, what is it like driving at Spa in such an incredible car like this?
Yeah, obviously high adrenaline. It's a very, very fast track. Always changing conditions. I mean, I don't know how much you saw today, but in the morning was damp, and then right before qualifying it was raining and massive hail. And then it went back to being fully dry for the race. Hopefully tomorrow it stays consistent and dry, but yeah, a pleasure to drive these cars at such an iconic circuit.
What's it like going up Eau Rouge when the conditions might have changed in the last 2 minutes? How do you gauge that? What's it like?
Well, when it's dry, usually it's easy flat, but when it's a little bit damp and there's kind of a dry line, then you kind of go and you pray. It starts pointing in one direction, but yeah, I mean, you have to kind of just feel the grip lap to lap. And obviously, come to the race, whoever adapts the quickest will do a better job.
Well, I think we're all in awe for you doing it in real life. It's absolutely insane. A lot of our viewers will be doing sim racing. And I think early on in your career, you raced with Igor Fraga at one point,
yeah,
who is, on his day, the fastest driver in Gran Turismo, which is a sim racing game. What do you think about sim racing? Do you do any sim racing? What are your kind of thoughts on that?
Well, I don't do any extreme sim racing, but I do a lot of iRacing. I enjoy it a lot. It's a great simulator for driving Assetto Corsa as well. And I think it's a lot of drivers, obviously even in F1, obviously technology is much more developed, but we all use sim racing because we don't have the luxury to be every day on track. So sim racing is great for technique because you can look at data just like in real life. It's good for racecraft because you can practice overtaking and defending just like you would in real life. Especially if you take it a bit more serious and you don't go for the big sand because there's no risk. But yeah, I think it's fundamental nowadays because obviously we're so limited in actual track time. And I think if used correctly, sim is a great tool for anybody.
So we can see you in iRacing, maybe driving the LMP2 category?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sure.
That's great. And I'm here today actually with GT Manager, which is a mobile management racing game.
Okay.
And in this game, every driver has 4 categories and a score. Okay. So the categories are velocity, overtaking, defending, and tyre management. Okay. So out of those 4, which would you say, if you could only pick one, is your best category?
I think defending.
Really?
I think defending, yeah, I'm quite confident defending. I mean, just from memory, yeah, Daytona, I was pretty good. Petit Le Mans, we won last year, and I was really good defending for a long time. So yeah, I think we'll see tomorrow, starting from P2.
Yeah.
We'll see how I get on, but yeah.
Do you have that sense of the car using your mirrors, or do you kind of sense where to place your car? And
it's more about even though defending is weird because obviously you'd expect the person to be really aware of the car behind, it's more about focusing on yourself and focusing about car placement, making sure you brake well, making sure you focus on your exits, because it's really easy when you're defending to try and over push, especially on the sim. You see somebody behind and they're catching you, try to really start pushing more. Yeah. When in reality, your main focus should be stopping the car, getting the apexes, and getting a good exit, because then you're almost impossible to overtake.
Well, I think defensive driving is just one of the arts of driving, and sometimes when you're in that position in front and to hold it can be very difficult. My last question is, I think you race under the Angolan flag.
Yes.
I have a lot of subscribers, sim racing fans from Africa. What does it mean to race under the Angolan flag and race as African driver in WC?
Yeah, it's a big pleasure. Obviously, last year having become the first Angolan to win a World Championship race was amazing. At the beginning of my career, unfortunately, I couldn't race with the Angolan flag, but I always had it on my suit, helmet, gloves, anything I put the Angolan flag was there. But now, yeah, super proud. Just 2 weeks ago, we were in the podium in Portimão. I took the flag with me to the podium. It's amazing, coming from Angola. Obviously, I didn't have the same background as some of the guys I'm racing against who have fully available kart tracks wherever they're growing. I mean, in Portugal, for example, where I'm living, there's a numerous amount of tracks everywhere, so anybody can go race in professional, international level kart tracks, where I was racing in parking lots and street circuits. So obviously, to be where I am now is a big pride for myself, and to be able to represent Angola and show where I come from for sure is a must.
I think that's massively inspirational. There'll be so many people watching who think I don't have the access to these like FIA grade kart circuits, and they're on their local indoor circuits, but they're very, very fast. So it's incredible to hear that story. All I can say is I wish you the best tomorrow, starting from P2. Hope to see you this again on the top step, and that'll be amazing.
I hope so. It's going to be a tough race, 6 hours. Competition is looking fierce, but we have 6 hours to try and move up one position, so why not?
Awesome. Well, best of luck, Rui, and hope to see you on top step.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Well, after we spoke, Rui and WRT went on to do the 6 hours of Spa, and WRT did an insanely good job of managing the strategy. There's so many safety cars in this race, big accidents, and WRT managed to navigate it basically perfectly. So by the end of it all, at the end of the 6 hours, can you believe this? Andrade, Delatraz, and a little-known racing driver called Robert Kubica, who you may have heard of, went on to win the LMP2 class at Spa. You can see here Rui celebrating. Unbelievable stuff. So we caught up with Rui again just to understand, what does it mean to win at Spa? What does it feel like? Rui, congratulations!
Thank you.
Can we get a couple of words on my spot?
Yes, you can.
Or do you want to go?
Let's put this down really quick. I'll be right back.
So Rui, we caught up with you yesterday. You were quietly confident, and now you are a WC 6-hour winner at Spa LMP2. Just firstly, what does it feel like? How do you feel right now?
It feels amazing. It was a crazy race. I don't think anyone knew who would win until the last lap.
Yes.
We didn't even know we were fighting for the win, honestly, until about 15 minutes to go, when we realized we had a slight fuel advantage on the 23, who did an amazing race as well. But yeah, crazy race, lots of safety cars, different weather conditions, but super happy to come away with the win.
What was it like dealing with the safety cars and making some very late calls? Are you always, do you sense something might happen, there's an opportunity to box or not box? How does that kind of work for you?
Well, actually, the race was going really well for us. I mean, I had a bad start, but then I recovered right back to P3. I had a comfortable gap to the second place car, who at the time had a penalty. So we knew we were theoretically in second place already. And based on driver strategy, we knew we had an advantage also on the 23.
Yes.
Wasn't at the lead at the point. And then we had 4 more laps of fuel, which was amazing at the time. Everything was going smoothly, and the first safety car came out, and suddenly, because of our fuel advantage, we lost about 1 minute and 30 to the leaders. But then the team did an amazing job. We had a really late call for the second safety car, which was perfect. Brought us right back into contention, and then we maintained the fuel advantage we had earlier on. And it's because of this that we won, really, so yeah.
So I heard from Bastian, the engineer, that the call was 1.8 seconds before.
Yes, it was crazy, because we were counting down on the radio, box, and we were counting down because we knew there would be a safety car about to be called up, because the crash was massive. And we were crazy. I mean, had he been 2 seconds slower during his stint, we wouldn't have made the window, and we would have lost another minute. Because we would have to box on the green again.
Yes.
So we would have been lapped by the leaders. And then going from this situation to winning a race, it's crazy.
I think if you're watching and you haven't yet got into WEC and endurance racing, this race had everything. Anything can happen at any time. We spoke yesterday about you doing a little bit of sim racing, iRacing, LMP2. There'll be lots of people watching who've raced at Spa, maybe won at Spa online. But just emotionally, what is it sinking in yet? Like what it means to win? For you are a WC 6-hour winner at Spa. That's just legendary. It's stuff. You were a legend.
Thank you. Like I said, obviously in the simulator you have the advantage of always having the same conditions. And even if it's wet, it's always either wet or wet tires on wet track or slicks on slick. But today we had a bit of everything, Spa. I mean, 1 second it was raining, the next second it was stop raining, then you go for the grid and you think, okay, it's easy slicks, and 2 minutes before we did the formation lap, it starts raining again. And we're like, okay, what do we do now? And then all the drivers on the grid were even making jokes because no one knows what tire to go on.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was crazy hectic, but it's Spa, it's racing, and it hasn't fully set in yet because, like I said, we were about to
run today, Congratulations.
We were about to be 1 lap down. And so happy for the win.
It's great stuff. And very final question, because I know you've got the trophy there. I don't want to hold you back from celebrating. When do you sort of move on to Le Mans, and what's the hope for the Le Mans, the big race?
I think tonight we celebrate with the teammates. Tomorrow we rest from the hectic weekend. I think emotions are all over the place. And I think starting Monday we start riding Le Mans. I mean, it's the biggest race of the year. most points as well. This was a 25 point for the
Yes.
win. Le Mans 50.
Yeah.
Last year, Le Mans cost us the championship because we didn't score any points.
Yeah.
And we were fighting for the championship until the last race.
Yeah.
Had we finished Le Mans, we probably could have won.
Yeah.
So yeah, this year we're going back for a vengeance.
Yeah.
My teammates Louis and Robert lost Le Mans in the last lap in 2021.
Yeah.
The team was already celebrating the win,
Yeah.
and the car stopped in the last lap.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the odds of that ever happening? So yeah, this year, fingers crossed that doesn't happen,
Yeah.
and we're going to go for the win, obviously, as always.
Yeah.
But obviously now, with the way things are, we're going to focus on the championship as well.
Well, massive congratulations, Rui. I hope you celebrate.
so much.
It was great to see the Angolan flag on the podium. That's going to be
you.
massively inspirational, and I wish you all the best at Le Mans.
Thank you so much.
Wow, well, isn't that just so good? Rui Andrade winning the 6 hours of Spa. If you like this video, make sure you share it, by the way. Share it around, like, subscribe. Because of your support, we get to go to a place like this. Support amazing drivers like Rui Andrade. Is he the fastest driver in Africa at the moment? Quite possibly. Let's see what happens at Le Mans.